I finally ended up clicking keep results, like to keep the new results. I didn't realize that I wasn't having access to like see how these activate when I hover over them on the map. I didn't realize that I wasn't able to do that and that I wasn't able to click on them because I hadn't selected where it said down here keep results, like I guess keep the new results. So my genetic communities are now highlighted. So I'm wondering about this because the percentages and the way they're distributed, I remember before the average, the way they would average them out, like say, 0 to 2% would be like 1%, or I think less than 1% at that low of a percentage. And for this one, it's, and again, I don't know how many, the range is 0 to 2%. I'm assuming that the test would come up with 0 in some areas and up to 2% in other areas. I don't know how many zeros, how many ones, and how many twos came up, but I know that the range is here. I know that they used to average it out pretty evenly between the low number and the high number. So now it's 0 to 2%, but it shows up as 2%. Okay. Then if I look at Ireland and Scotland, Ireland and Scotland is 0 to 3%. Why is it showing up 3%? Like, why did it increase? If it's 0 to 3%, like, why is it showing the highest number? Because it's detecting more. Same here. It used to be 2%, and now it's 0 to 3%, which is, okay, so 0 to 3%. Let me just show this. 0 to 3%, 0 to 3%, and they're both showing up as 3%. But if I look at, say, European Jewish is 0 to 5%, European Jewish is showing up as 2%. So I'm noticing that Basque, like for my mom, Basque is showing up as 1%. For my mom, her range is 0 to 10%. 0 to 10%. And her Basque is showing up as 1%. Like mine showing up as 1%. Hers is 0 to 10% and is showing up as 1%. Like how does that make sense? And so Norway 0 to 3%, okay, it's at 1%. That makes sense. But how is Ireland and Scotland 0 to 3% and showing up as 3%? Like, see, like 1%. And I know this used to be less than 1% and this used to be 2%, but like, why is it on the highest? Like, I'm just thinking, like, I guess I don't know what numbers, how many of these numbers, this range make it up, but for it to be at 3%, it seems on the high side for Ireland and Scotland, England and Wales. And then it seems like it's on the low end for European Jewish. And then Basque for my mom, like, how do I have 0 to 2% and mine is listed as 1%? But my mom has 0 to 10% and her Basque is also listed as 1%. That's, like, I don't know how that makes sense. Yeah, so these are pretty solid. Like, I don't, in the Native American and everything, like, those are all really solid numbers. These numbers, though, are a little bit different. They used to be, like, when this was 14%, my range was from 12 to 16%, and they put me at 14%, and they have me at 13% now. So I guess it's still correct, because then I have 2% Andean now. So I don't know. Should my Native American be higher? It's 0 to 8%, and then it's listed as 2%. Like, I'm just not sure how they're averaging it out and what their numbers are. I wish I had more detail on that. But I believe this range is the same. It's the same as it was before, except now it's showing up as 2% instead of 3%. And then I'm surprised something that has a range so low as 0 to 3% is showing up as 3%. And that's going on here too. And prior to this update, these were both at 2%. And France is also, so like France, Ireland, and Scotland, England, Wales, Northwestern Europe are all showing up on the high end of the range, 0 to 2%, and it's showing up as 2%. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. So anyway, I wanted to show that. I wonder if these are going to change. I wonder if the Basque on my mom's is going to change. And her European Jewish and my European Jewish, her range now is 0 to 5%, and her European Jewish is showing up as 1%. Mine's showing up as 2% when it used to be 3%. It's just, I don't know. I guess they're estimates. I don't know if the computer is just randomly selecting what to be 3%, what to be 2%, like what actually is, because some of them are pretty far off from the average, at least from how it looked like they were averaging them out prior to this update. They used to take pretty much the middle number from the range, and now they're not doing that. So I don't know if that's less accurate or more accurate, but it's something, a difference that I've noticed.